filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we are going to be recapping the bowl games that happened this prior week. I don't know why there's a 4 there, but the bowl games that happened from Tuesday up into the playoffs, and then we're going to talk about the playoffs as well. So let's get right into it. And first, we have the Salute to Service Bowl, where Jax State beat Troy 17-13. Now, Troy was up at the end of the third quarter in this matchup, and Troy had won 79 straight games when being up going into the fourth quarter. However, Jax State broke that streak with a win. Now, to start the game, Jax State, struck first with an open touchdown to Rex Steiner. Why am I blanking on his name? Scott Steinerson. I'm blanking on his name though. But Rex Steiner, yeah, he scored a touchdown. Then Troy would score their only touchdown on a botched flea flicker. So they ran the flea flicker, and the pitchback part worked fine. But when Caden Creel got the ball, he was pressing his face, he fumbled, and Troy recovered it in the end zone. That was the only touchdown that Troy scored in the game. So, I mean, kind of like Jax State gave them the only touchdown, which was surprising to me because Jax State defense can be leaky. So I was surprised that the only touchdown Troy got was a defensive touchdown and not an offensive touchdown. Jax State would then score a touchdown after an interception. And then Troy's failed Hail Mary attempt to end the game happened, which it came close. I believe that was the game where it almost happened to where Troy almost won the game off the Hail Mary. Shout out to you for watching the stream. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. But in the end, Jax State ended up winning the ball game. Now, to be honest, this game wasn't like super crazy. Cam Cook didn't play in this game. Caden Creel had his moments for sure, but other than that, DeAndre Johnson to me was like the MVP of this game. He had 6 catches, 100 yards. He didn't score, but he came up with timely catches. On the Troy side of the ball, they couldn't finish drives. Like they could move between the 20s, but they really couldn't get anything in the end zone, obviously by scoring no offensive touchdowns. But great win by Jax State. They won their second bowl game in 3 years in the FBS, which is crazy to me that they've been in the FBS for 3 years. But shout out to Jax State for the win. And we're going to move on to the Old Dominion South Florida game, the Cure Bowl. They both wore pink, which was a pretty cool touch because, I mean, it was a bowl game about cancer. So that was a pretty cool touch. Now, I did predict ODU to win this game, just like I predicted Jax State to win, and they did win. USF was without Coach Golish, who moved on to Auburn. And Byron Brown was there, but he did not play. He served as an assistant coach, which he was coaching up Gaston Moore, who ended up leaving the game due to injury. Quinn Heinekel did what I thought he would do. He ran the ball very effectively. He did fumble. Which led to a USF touchdown to Jeremiah Coger off of busted coverage. But ODU would rebound because that was USF's only touchdown. ODU would rebound after that. They did score touchdown first, though. USF scored a field goal, then ODU answered with a touchdown, which was – the field goal came after the Heinekel fumble. Okay, I just had to check my notes. The field goal came after the Quinn Heinekel fumble, then ODU would score a touchdown. Then USF would throw an interception leading to a Traquan Jones touchdown run. late in the ball game. But ODU shut out USF in the second half. They shut them out. They were up I want to say for the large part of the game, they were up 14-10 before the touchdown by Jones. But yeah, man, they got their touchdown due to basically ODU busted coverage. Second half, ODU straight up dominated. Now, Quinn Heineken did have a questionable moment when he got hit. There was targeting call, which I thought it was targeting. They say it's controversial. I thought that was clearly targeting. But the targeting happened. He got in and out of concussion protocol within like 2 plays. Now, there was a delay between him getting hit and the next play due to, review for targeting and him being hurt. But they said it was no more than 5 minutes, and I don't think that they're wrong. Like, the concussion protocol was real quick. Like I said, they ran a play. The next play, he was right back in there, which, hey, if you want to be mad at ODU's medical staff, go right ahead because I kind of feel you. But it came back. Everything looked cool. And ODU won the game 24-10. They won the Cure Bowl. We'll move on to Louisiana versus Delaware, which I forgot the name of this bowl. But Delaware, man, hung on final seconds to win the game. Now, Lunch Winfield did get hurt. He would come back in the ball game. Shout out to you for watching. How you doing? But he would come back in the ball game. But Delaware went up as much as, I believe, 20-3 at one point. They did get a big touchdown by Joe Silver for their first one. He went 61 yards. Both teams scored field goals right after that before halftime, putting Delaware up 10-3. Delaware comes out and scores a touchdown and a field goal at halftime. Yeah, like I said, putting them up 20-3 before Louisiana would first score a field goal and then a touchdown. Now, Louisiana would get the ball back to tie or win the game. And they get to, I want to say like this, 5 or anywhere between the 5 and 10. And on the last play of the game, the tight end is wide open, Caden Jensen. And he drops it, and Delaware hangs on to win the ball game 20-13, winning their bowl game. Their first ever bowl in the FBS level of college football. This was their first year at the FBS level. So shout out to them going 1-0 in bowls as an FBS school. And they got in at 6-6. So next, we have the Xbox Bowl. Oh, which, by the way, I did pick Delaware to win that bowl game against Louisiana. We got the Xbox Bowl, which was between Missouri State and Arkansas State. Now, I did unfortunately pick Mo State to win this game, and I'm going to be honest with you. This game, throughout a large part of this game, was a blowout. Arkansas State was all over Missouri State in this ball game. But Missouri State started to make a run at the end. Now, again, like I told y'all before the game, this was terrible scheduling by the Xbox Bowl, whoever planned this, because this game came on after Thursday Night Football, which started at 8:15. This game started at 9. And if y'all watched that Thursday Night Football game, y'all know how much of a banger Seahawks-Rams was. So when Arkansas State jumped out on Mo State, hey, man, Thursday Night Football, man, this game is good. But Mo State did work themselves back. They were down 21-34, getting Arkansas State to punt the ball. And the punt returner, I want to say it was Jamari Robinson. I want to say, but I could be wrong. Muffed the punt. He muffed it. Arkansas State got the ball back, but missed the field goal. Mo State did go down and score, but they had no timeouts left, and they scored on the wrong side of the 2-minute timeout. So when they went for the onside kick and Arkansas State recovered it, they had no chance at stopping the clock. Therefore, losing 34-28. But that muff punt was huge because it caused them, 1, to burn their timeouts, and then 2, they lost a lot of time. And I want to say this too, because I want to say it was Jamari Robinson who actually put them in great field position. They took forever, to call the play. They got in the red zone real quick. It was like 2:40 off of a big play. 2:40 left in the game. They didn't hike the ball until like 2:03, and I think they got a flag. So then, they didn't really hike the ball to the 2-minute timeout. They were supposed to try to score on the other side of the 2-minute timeout, at least get one timeout, maybe give yourself a possibility to get the ball back. But they couldn't score before the 2-minute timeout, and that was all they wrote. Mo State lost 34-28 as Arkansas State won the Xbox Bowl and gave me my first loss in bowl season. Now we move on to the Friday games, which we'll start with Kennesaw State getting smacked by Western Michigan 41-6. Now, I will say this. I did pick Western Michigan to win, so I felt I was feeling good. I was like, okay, only one loss bowl week. Cool. Jalen Buckley did it again. First play from scrimmage, 65-yard touchdown run. Then Kennesaw State's first drive, Amari Odom gets sacked. He gets stripped, fumbled, and Western Michigan takes it the other way for a touchdown. And then there's just the avalanche that happened, man. Western Michigan scored 27 straight points in the first quarter. They really scored 41 straight before Kennesaw State scored a garbage time touchdown to make it 41-6. But they scored 27 points in the first. Then they scored one touchdown in the second. And they started the third at 34-0, catching a pick six to start the third quarter. And then Kennesaw State will score their touchdown whenever they scored. But this was just a dominant performance by the Western Michigan Broncos. Jalen Buckley at the end of the first quarter had like 7 carries for like 140 yards and a touchdown. He did get hurt and left the game, but he already did his damage in the first quarter. Enough said, as Kennesaw State gets smacked in their bowl game against Western Michigan. And we move on to the last bowl game of the day, of that Friday before the playoffs, where Memphis gets smacked by NC State. I want to say this was the Gasparilla Bowl, 31-7. NC State just came out and dominated offensively and defensively too, man. That defense didn't let Memphis do anything. I want to give a shout out to the D-line, because that D-line dominated Memphis's O-line. Just dominant performance there. CJ Bailey had a great game. He did miss some throws, but he also connected on some deep throws. He made some big plays using his legs to extend plays. They went up as much as 24-0 before Memphis scored a touchdown, their only touchdown. And to be honest, it was a quick slant that looked like it was going to go for a first, and he gets tackled, and he just made a Superman-esque play and scored. Like, it didn't look like he was going to score, but he, drug some guys into the end zone, and that was the only play that they scored. So you could say that their one touchdown they had was a fluke, but it was in the first half. But then at 24-7, Memphis does get a stop, but then they punt as well, and NC State scores a 40-yard touchdown pass down the field to go up 31-7. And both teams went scoreless in the second half. I would say NC State, for real, to me, was most on cruise control, while Memphis just couldn't get anything going. Like I said, being dominated. So shout out to NC State for winning the last bowl game of bowl week, because now we have to talk about the college football playoffs in the first round, which we did have 2 really good games. And we're going to start with my only loss in college football playoff prediction, the Oklahoma-Alabama game, which Oklahoma came out, scored 17 straight points, 17-0 at home. And Norman, I'm thinking 17-0 with this defense and the way Alabama's been playing. Oh, man, wrap this up. But then Brooks, the freshman, he started breaking out. Jeremy Bernard caught a deep pass, a crazy one later in the ball game. But I want to credit Brooks from the freshman. I feel like he kind of changed momentum with the big plays he started making after being 17-0. Then another big play was when Oklahoma on third down, and I want to say maybe 2 or 3, John Mateer, he has the first down if he takes off. But he did see, I want to say, Deion Burks, open on a post, and he took the shot. Instead of taking the first, he missed. And after that miss, the punt was blocked, which led to Alabama getting a field goal. And then right before half, what's his name? Xavier Brown. Let me make sure I'm getting it right. Yep, Xavier Brown catches a pick 6 to tie the ball game at halftime. And then in the second half, Alabama will win the second half 17-7. Really, Oklahoma will get a touchdown to make it, 24-27. After Bama scored 10 straight, really rattling off 27 straight at 17-0, Oklahoma will score a touchdown to make it 27-24, and then Alabama went right back down and scored a touchdown. And as Oklahoma missed a field goal to make it a one-possession game, got the ball back, missed another field goal to make it a one-possession game to try to kick for an onside kick after. So 2 missed field goals eliminates the Oklahoma Sooners from the CFP playoffs. But it was a really good game. Just unfortunate that Oklahoma brought out 50 Cent in the fourth quarter, blew a 17-0 lead, man. It was just a very bad night for the Oklahoma Sooner fans, and I know everything about a bad night tonight, trust me. As we move on to the Miami Hurricanes beating the 12th man in Texas A&M Aggies on the road in Kyle Field, 10-3. And I told y'all, Miami is more battle-tested than Texas A&M. I know what I said about Carson Beck, but I know what I said about Marcel Reed too. And Marcel Reed, 2 interceptions in this ball game, 1 to end it. On the game time drive, he threw a pick in the red zone. This ball game is very defensive. It was very windy, and Miami's kicker did miss 3 kicks. He did miss 3 field goals, but salute to the Texas A&M defense for making them settle for said field goals and windy conditions. It was 0-0 at halftime. Due to Miami missed 2 field goals. So 0-0. Miami did strike first in the second half with a field goal before Texas A&M ties the game at 3-3. And then Miami would get a huge punt return by Malachi Tony, but another missed field goal would occur. Then Malachi Tony would fumble on a catch after the catch, but it was on a run play, excuse me. But he got his time, and when his number was called to make the play, he made the play on a touch pass from Carson Beck to the end zone around the edge for a touchdown, redeeming himself. I'm pretty sure his teammates still had confidence in him because a guy that talented, you have to. And he showed them why everybody came to him and told him to keep his head up as he scores the game-winning touchdown before Marcel Reed throws the game-losing interception. But it was just a very defensive game. Like I said, Miami kicker did miss 3 field goals, but this game was very defensive. And shout out Mark Fletcher, who is the MVP of this game, man. He got them all the way down the field before the Malachi Tony touchdown pop pass, running the ball. He had over 150 yards against this defense. This pass defense, man, of the Hurricanes, they gave Marcel Reed some fits, man. If Marcel Reed wasn't as mobile as he was, it'd be worse. But Ruben Bain, man, they said he wasn't a threat. He finished with 2-3 sacks. He showed them that, hey, bro, I'm a threat out here. And he had a hell of a day on the ground, on the D-line. Ruben Bain, defensive MVP for sure. Now, if you want to say the guy that caught the interception be my guess, because he caught the pick to win the game. So I'm not going to argue there. But Ruben Bain, and he showed, hey, I just come out there and work. I ain't got to talk like y'all. I'm going to come out there and prove it. And like I said, if Marcel Reed wasn't as athletic, it would have been an even worse day. So shout out to the Hurricanes defense for getting it done. They move on in the CFP. They move on to play Ohio State. Bama moves on to play Indiana. And the next 2 games, unfortunately, were blowouts. Ole Miss, I'm not going to spend too much long talking about these. Ole Miss absolutely dominated Tulane, 41-10. Now, I will say this game was more competitive than what the final score says, just like the last one. For the most part, the score was like 17-3, 17-3 for like the majority of this game. Ole Miss just ran away with it. But their first 2 drives Ole Miss had looked easy. I think their first 2 drives were like 5 plays combined or something like that. It just looked very easy. I'm like, dang, Tulane ain't gonna make this a game. But the defense kind of settled in, started holding Ole Miss. It's just offensively, again, red zone execution is an issue for this Tulane team this year. Jake Retzlaff threw an interception on his first drive. It was just this offense could not just get plays together to score touchdowns. And unfortunately, that came to bite them in the behind because this offense is too high powered. They're not going to be held down for long. So if you keep them close, you have to score. And they were unable to do that. And then Ole Miss offense started running off points, and Ole Miss went on to win 41-10. Tulane really got shut out at 3. They scored a garbage touchdown with like a minute and something left to make it 41-10. But congrats to Tulane for making it. Congrats on winning their conference. And we'll move on. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for coming through the comments, coming through the show. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I definitely appreciate you coming through. Move on to the last game. JMU at Oregon. Now, I want to start off by saying this. This game was 31-3 at halftime. JMU did rally, scored 31 points in the second half. Oregon they won the second half 31-17. 28-17. It was 31-6. My fault. They ended up winning the second half 21-17. But that you can't start that slow against this Oregon team. Now, I will say JMU was able to move the ball down the field. First drive, they went down the field, just couldn't punch it in for a touchdown, had to settle for 3. Second drive, they got a big trick play, but it ended up coming away with nothing. Got the field goal, I believe, towards the second half, but Oregon was just scoring off the rip, easy, just running points off. And I feel like second half, they went kind of into cruise control, to be honest with you. But to me, the game was out of reach after the first half, to be honest. The Bears-Packers was on. I turned that on. I was watching that game, can't lie. But again, salute to JMU for handling business, winning their conference, and they got the qualifier spot, the automatic qualifier spot for the G5. So I'm not going to say great game. And I will also say this. There was a lot of games last year that involved powerful versus powerful schools that were blowouts. So blowouts happen in football, period. It's football. It happens. So, but we're going to move on to major performances, and then we're going to get up out of here. So I think I got like 11 or 12 guys for major performances. We're going to run through this real quickly. We're going to start with DeAndre Johnson. Quinn, 7 yards, but 24 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Joe Silver, running back, Delaware, 14 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Dash Luke, receiver, Mo State, 7 catches, 169 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jacob Clark, quarterback, Mo State, 25 of 35, 349 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Corey Rucker, receiver, Arkansas State, 6 catches, 166 yards, and a touchdown. We'll salute to him. He just declared for the draft, so good luck in your NFL draft process, my boy. Jalen Buckley, running back, Western Michigan, 8 carries, 174 yards, and a touchdown. And again, he left the game early. Most of that came in the first quarter. Deion Burks, receiver, Oklahoma, 7 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Mark Fletcher, running back, Miami Hurricanes, 17 carries, 172 yards. Malik Benson, receiver, Oregon, 5 catches, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Shaz Preston, receiver, Tulane, 5 catches, 125 yards, again out of Tulane. Now, that is the end of the show for CTC. I will be back tomorrow morning because we have a whole new set of bowl games. We got bowl game week 2 coming up, starting tomorrow with Washington State versus Utah State. So I will be covering Monday to Friday, the bowl games, Monday to Friday. I want to say it's 6 of them, so I will be covering those. Now, you ask for time, probably around noon. I'll be on around noon because the first game starts at 2. But I can't wait for these bowl games. Again, they should be exciting. Tuesday, we got 3. Monday, we got 1. Wednesday, we got 1. And then, no, we might have 2 on Tuesday. And then Thursday, we might not have any. And then Friday, we might have 3. But it's something like that. But before I leave, we got shows. Like I said, this is the R2L Network. So we have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, Tuesday and Fridays between 7 to 8:30ish. We have Unfazed Tuesdays, roughly right now. Days have been changing due to work schedules and stuff like that. But they go live normally between 9 and 10:30ish. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, by the way. Next, we have BWT Baseball with Teddy. So be on the lookout for him dropping shorts, shows, episodes, stuff like that. We have FFC Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, which a lot of people semifinals or championship weeks should be wrapping up tomorrow. But for all your fantasy football tidbits and stuff like that, if you got a championship game next week, tune in to FFC. We have RBO, Roll Ballers Only, NBA show featuring Vaughn, Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. And we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo Sundays. Not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. That's the start times. That's not how long the show is. That's just they start anywhere between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. So be on the lookout for those shows. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, with that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow, but I'm gone. I got to go crash out. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.